Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is Zombo here, and today we are doing a little bit of a different video. Today we are doing ZomboTZ presents games to play on the channel. If it wasn't obvious by the title of the video, not this title. I hope this title was pretty obvious with this. So, anyways, yeah. So today we're gonna be talking about games that I can play on the channel. So I was thinking that with this channel, I'd rather, instead of me just dictating what game we play and being like, all right, let's play this game next, let's play Elden Ring. I want you guys to have feedback and kind of feel integrated and like you have a voice in my community. And so I decided I would make a video where you guys can give your input and say, hey, it'd be cool if you played this game. With this community I'm kind of trying to grow, I think that's kind of the best way to do that, you know? I want it to be interactive, and I love interacting with you guys in the comments. Like in Final Fantasy VII, it was a lot of fun talking to you guys and kind of hearing your guys' experiences and what you guys know, and also thank you guys for kind of keeping spoilers out of it. That was awesome of you guys. Yeah, shout out to all you guys who've been commenting. Chad, Pika Rosie, we had Sickhead. You guys are some of the main ones there that I remember throughout the series commenting. Anyways, without further ado, let's get into this. All right, so these are some new games that, and new being new to me, not necessarily brand new. In fact, none of them are brand new. But these are the very short ones. So very short being, I don't know, anywhere from a minute to like 10 hours, I would say is pretty dang short. So first we have What Remains of Edith Finch. I know like nothing about this game other than it's like 2 hours and people seem to really enjoy it. So it seems interesting and I'd love to try that out sometime. So I figured maybe we could do like it would be a short series. It'd probably be like 2 episodes, but it's still something to play. And then we have the Dark Pictures Anthology of House of Ashes. So this is part of a series, and if you guys are actually familiar with Until Dawn, it's the same makers of that game. And so it's like a horror-esque game where it's kind of like the butterfly effect, I think. Well, maybe that's Until Dawn, that's the butterfly effect, and this one's not. But anyways, this is part of a series. So the first one was Man of Medan, and then we had Little Hope, and now they have House of Ashes. And so this is like a, I don't know, 9-hour game, maybe 6-hour game. It's not too long, but it's kind of fun. And I think the reactions to it, especially since I can't watch horror movies, the only way I can watch a horror movie is with somebody else. But that happens like never. So there's that. However, I have played Man of Medan and I have played Little Hope, and I enjoyed them a lot, and Until Dawn. But I also was a little bitch. And I definitely got very scared. Little Hope, there was some jump scares in there, because that's the one I played most recently, and that one kind of freaked me out. Now that I think about it, I didn't actually play Man of Medan. I watched that be played. But either way, it's basically that I experienced it. Now we're on to new games that are short-ish, I guess. So this would be probably somewhere between the range of like 10 to 20 hours is what I would say. So first off, we have The Last of Us. So this is just, as it says on that image, it's a PlayStation hit. It's just amazingly rated. So I'd love to play it. I did attempt to play it about 6 years ago, I would say 6-7 years ago. I don't know, a long time ago. I didn't get too far in the game. It's not because I didn't like it. It was because I just had other stuff going on in my life at the time. And I would love to play, and I've always wanted to play it since, and even then, and I never got around to it, but I figured it's a good time to do it here, and it'd be basically a new experience because, like I said, I didn't get very far, and that was like a long time ago when I was a way different person, so that'd be interesting. And then we have The Last of Us 2, but that would follow The Last of Us 1, I suppose if I don't play the Last of Us 1 on the channel, it's not really worth playing the second one if you guys aren't interested in it, but I'll still play it. I guess maybe not on the channel. And then we have Heavy Rain. I don't really know much about this game at all, so there's not too much I can say about it other than I think that it's kind of like the nature of the Detroit Become Human Until Dawn-esque style game, I think. I don't know. I could be completely wrong on that, but either way, that's a game that's also been highly rated in the ones that I've tried to look up, and seems interesting. I think it's something to do with a killer or something like that, but I don't know. It'd be cool though. So now we are on to the medium-ish games. So first and foremost, we have God of War. I know this is kind of like a franchise of sorts, but I would probably stick to the one shown there. At least for starters. It doesn't mean I wouldn't play the other ones at some point, but this is the kind of the one that I have access to right now, and is also very, very well liked / loved / whatever. I think it'd be really cool. Really cool to play that. I hear a lot of great things about the God of War series in general. I also think it looks cool. Also, the voice actor of God of War in that game is, what's his name? Christopher Judge. He is from, well, that I know him from anyway. He's from a lot of things, but I know him from Stargate SG-1, which was an amazing science fiction show. It's kind of like, as the name suggests, you know, Stargate. It's going to other worlds through a gate and exploring them. And it was super cool. It came out in like 1999. They had 10 seasons, so it ran for a while, and I loved it. Anyways, getting sidetracked. It's cool. Voice actor's cool. He's awesome, dude. Next, we have Nier Automata. This is another one that I don't know too much about, other than the fact that, and I could be wrong on this, I don't know, that it seems like there's like an ending for every letter of the alphabet, and then like one ending is correct. and the rest are like other endings. I don't know how it works exactly, but that seems like a really cool game to play, and I also think it kind of goes a little bit more in line with the Japanese RPG genre, which is, I guess, really all I've really played on the channel. It's Japanese games. There's only been 2 games so far. But anyways, next one, Uncharted. So this is kind of like the collection here. I've never played any of the Uncharted games. I don't even really know what they're about, but they're obviously cool and people like them because I think there's, did the 5th one just come out or is gonna come out or something like that? I'm not sure, but this collection here has 3 of them. It doesn't have the 4th, but I'd start with the first 3 anyways. So that's kind of what that is. So it's kind of more of a series, I guess, than just one game. But I'd start with the first one, so. Now, we have longish games. So I know I'm playing Elden Ring right now, which is definitely a longish game. Maybe even a very longish game. Since it's an open world type of thing, and I don't know how you guys would like doing a longish one on the side of that, but we'll see. I do plan to make Elden Ring go like 2 days a week, and then whatever game we come up with here being 3 days a week, spaced out throughout the week. That's kind of my goal. We'll see how it works and see how time allows me, but that's the plan, Stan. Anyways, so we have Final Fantasy VIII Remastered. So this would be an interesting one. One, because it's Final Fantasy, and that's kind of the first thing I did on this channel, so a lot of you guys here are probably kind of in that community and would be interested in something like that. And also, this game doesn't have any voice acting, so I'd be doing voices, which is cool. I like doing voices, but also I've never done it before, so I'd have no idea how it will go. I don't know if my voice will be able to take it, but hey, I'm willing to give it a shot. I think it could be fun. So there's a little bit of hesitation there just because of the fact that I've never done it before, but if you guys really want to see it, I'm down to do it. I know his name's not Leon, but it is in the Kingdom Hearts games, and I think that's like his last name or it's something weird like that. But whatever his name is, I can't remember his real name, but I'm gonna call him Leon because that's what I know him as. He seems really cool, and it'd be cool to actually play this game since I know him from Kingdom Hearts and see him in what he's actually from, with the characters that are in his world. And next we have Final Fantasy IX. There's a theme going here. So this is kind of a similar situation that the other game, sorry, Final Fantasy VIII being the other game, is not voice acted, and this one is also, from my understanding, not voice acted. I don't know. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong on that, but either way, I'll be doing voices, so that'll be interesting, and I'm curious to see how that would go. I do know, what was it? I don't think it's Fifi. The yellow-eyed guy with the big hat. He was in not Final Fantasy. He was in Kingdom Hearts. So I know him from that, despite the fact that I can't remember his name. I don't think it was Fifi. But it's fine. It was something. He was in Kingdom Hearts. That's what matters. And then lastly, we have Final Fantasy X. So this one is voice acted, and I guess was the first Final Fantasy game to be voice acted. It is also apparently highly liked, and the character interaction and all that stuff is great in this game, which is what I love in a video game. So this one is actually pretty exciting for me. I think that'd be really, really cool to play. I think out of these three, that would be the one that I'd be most excited for. I'm also questioning, because these games did come out quite a while ago, how I will be with the graphics and all that. I haven't played many old games in my day, so I don't know how that's gonna go. But like I said, if you guys decide to pick it, I'll give it a shot. I don't know. Alright, and then we're on to the next page. Longish / series. The question's there because I think this is a series. You guys can let me know. Final Fantasy 13. So when I was looking this one up, I was finding multiple results of Final Fantasy 13, as you see there, Final Fantasy 13-2, as you see there, and Lightning Returns Final Fantasy 13. So I had to do a little bit more digging on this game to try to figure out what the hell this was all about. So I guess that 13 is the first, and then the sequel is 13-2, and then the sequel to that one is Lightning Returns. So I think it's like a Final Fantasy series, if you will. I don't know, Final Fantasy is kind of a series to start, and this is like a series in the series? But the series is disconnected in the big series, but this series is connected. That makes sense. It's weird. Anyways, this one looks super cool. I think it looks awesome. However, people seem to not like this game as much. I don't know. It just looks cool to me. I think the art seems well done and the character design and all that, so I'd be down for it. I have played 12, which is why that's not on this list. So, I mean, I would still play it again. I didn't actually technically beat the game. I just had the final boss. I was going around and I was beating all the, what was I calling, like espers or something like that. There was like 12 of them, and there was one that has like a hit window of like less than a second, I swear, where he could be damaged, and then you had to wait for the next window to open, and I lost it. I was like level like 90 something, like 99 or something. I was like maxed. But I didn't beat the game, so how about that? I did like probably everything else in the game, but beat the game. But that's not the point here. We're talking about 13. Looks really cool, and I'd be interested to play a series like that. I think it'd be cool to go across 3 games. And I think they're like comparable to kind of the other Final Fantasy games in length. It's just kind of 3 games of that, so it's kind of long. I don't know, maybe 60 hours for all of them. I don't know, I haven't played the game, so I wouldn't know, but that's my guess. Alright, so now we're on to what I'm calling a series, which, I don't know. I guess I'll put quotes on that, series. So we have Horizon. So the newest one just came out, but I have never played the old one. I have the game, never played it, but would love to play it. I've been meaning to play it, I just haven't had time to do it. So that'd be something interesting that I could do on the channel. All I know about that game is that, as you see in the picture there, there's a chick with a bow who runs around, and somehow with that bow and maybe other tools, I don't know, she takes down those massive robotic creatures. I don't know about you, but that sounds pretty dope. She sounds like a badass. So that'd be pretty cool to play. Also, I'd love to play the newest one, but that'd come later. Then we have Mass Effect. So this is, I think like three like main games, and then maybe Andromeda or something is, I don't know. I'll have to ask my lovely friend on that game who loves this game very much, or games very much. And she'll be able to tell me all I need to know about that game to play it. But I think there's 3 like main games or something, like 1, 2, and 3. And their story, what is so cool to me, is that their stories carry through the game. So whatever decisions you made in like the first one, they carry over to like the second and third. So I think that is so sick, and I'd love to experience that and see what my story is throughout the games. And then I don't know what Andromeda is, but I was mainly thinking about the 3 main games, but maybe Andromeda's mixed in there. I don't know. I don't even know if that is part of the sequence of story continuation or not, but I don't think so. All right, and then we have The Witcher. So I have all 3 of the Witcher games, and I would love to play all 3. I know the first one is a little bit dated. The voice acting apparently isn't always the greatest, but at the same time, I think it could be extremely entertaining because of that. And also, with it being in older animations and not as well developed because of the time it was released, and the company, I believe it was their first game, so they only had so many assets and all these resources. So I think that would be really cool to play that. And then obviously Witcher 3. I mean, Witcher 2 did well. Witcher 3 did even better. It's just people like love that game so much, and I love The Witcher. I've actually read all of the Witcher books, and I have watched the show up to where it's at, the 2 seasons, and I love that too. Is it different from the book? Yes it is. Do I care? No. I think they're both lovely stories with slightly different spins, but that doesn't mean that I don't like one or the other. It means that I like them both, and it's cool that I get to experience a story with characters that I love 2 different ways. Like, just imagine Final Fantasy. Well, actually, you guys can imagine it, because Final Fantasy VII, right? The original took a different path than the remake is going, and now you guys get to experience a story with your favorite characters twice. It's like that. That's what it's like for me. Anyways, maybe that's a hot take. I don't know. But long story short, I'd love to play that game. I think it'd be cool. I've never played it. I don't know if they're like the book, if they're like the show, though I suppose from what I understand, they take place after the books, so it wouldn't be like them at all, would it? It'd just be later in time. Alright, this is a weird page. So these are games that I know, and by know, I mean I know the whole story. But before you guys freak out, I haven't played it. I'll explain once I show you guys here. All right, so this is what it is. Kingdom Hearts. All right. Now, Kingdom Hearts, that's a lot of games. It is a lot of games. It's very many games. In fact, it's a lot. It goes across the whole screen. And some of you guys might be looking at this and being like, hey, wait a minute. Where's Kingdom Hearts 2? You guys don't sound like that, by the way. Just ignore it. I'm just gonna talk like that anyways. Where's Kingdom Hearts 2? Where's Kingdom Hearts 3? Well, I technically played those games. but I haven't played any of these other ones. And the reason why I know these games, even though I haven't played them, is because I loved Kingdom Hearts 2 so much, but did not have consoles, did not have money, you know, a lot of factors went into play that basically made me unable to play any of these other games at the time. So Kingdom Hearts 2 I played on PlayStation 2. I actually did have a PlayStation 2, and I know that Kingdom Hearts, the original and stuff, was on PlayStation, but I was like freaking a small child. I didn't have money, I didn't have income, and all that jazz. And then by the time I was old enough to have money, I had already watched all the cutscenes of Kingdom Hearts games, which, if you guys are aware of how many cutscenes are in this game, I spent probably, if I were to sit down and just watch all the Kingdom Hearts cutscenes, it probably took me about a week nonstop of watching it. I didn't do that. I'd space it out, but just, I did that more than once, by the way. I think 2 times. I might have watched certain cutscene videos 3 times, but that's not important. That's not important. I love these games. The storyline is so confusing, and even though I have gone through these games, cutscenes of the games, multiple times, there's still things that I don't even know how to explain. But I know the story pretty well. Now, to kind of give this a little bit something more interesting, if I were to play this on the channel, which might entice you guys to have me play Kingdom Hearts games, and I would play 2 and 3 as well in this series, and I would start from release date order is what I would end up doing. I would try to pull somebody in to the series, so it would be almost a collaborative series, if you will, who hasn't experienced any Kingdom Hearts games, and then I would play it with them. So you have the experience of someone who hasn't played the games before, and then someone like me who freaking adores these games so much, despite that the story doesn't make sense, but it's part of the charm. You Kingdom Hearts lovers out there, you know what I mean. It's just part of the charm. I love it so much. But yeah, so I bring somebody in who hasn't experienced it before, and we would kind of collab together on it. And I don't know exactly how I'd go about it or who I would do it with, but I have some ideas. Kind of working that out yet. So it would probably be a little bit before I started this series, so we might pick another game before I would do this. But still, if you guys are interested in that, let me know, and I will prepare for it, basically, and get that all worked out. But yeah, so we can move on to the next. I think I rambled on about Kingdom Hearts long enough. So these games are now games that I have played and are very nostalgic for me. I don't know if you guys would be into that on the channel. So obviously we had the new games up ahead, and now these are more games that I've played. So you guys can let me know if that's interesting to you guys. I don't know. It might be something that I have to do later on YouTube when I'm a little bit more established and maybe start streaming. I thought maybe games that I've played before might be more interesting in a stream format. So let me know too, guys, if you'd be interested in some kind of stream stuff. Also, I'm not sure that I spelled nostalgic right. It just looks weird with the L and the G next to each other. Maybe it's just me. Do you guys ever like look at words and like, even though you've written it like 1,007 times, you all of a sudden one day you just look at it and you're like, that's not right. Like, wait a minute. Has it always been spelled like that? I don't know. That happens to me all the time. Like the word schedule. I write that a lot at work, and oh my god. There's some days when I just write it and I'm like, no, that's not how you write it. Anyways, I'm getting sidetracked again. So nostalgic games, I have the Kingdom Hearts games, but we kind of went over that on the last one. These are the 2 that I played. Kingdom Hearts obviously was the first one Kingdom Hearts 2, sorry. It was the first one that I played, so that's super nostalgic for me, and like I said, I was very little. I think the next game I'm going to show you was I played before this game, but this game still was like probably the second RPG-esque game that I played. Is this an RPG? I don't know. Now I'm questioning that. But either way, it was one of the first real full games that I played. Other than that, I played like DT Racer, which was just like a racing game, and DisneyChannel.com games when I had dial-up and I couldn't play games while my mom was on the phone. Shout out to anybody out there who remembers that. Probably anybody older than me. Younger than me, maybe not. But the next game here is Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. I freaking love these games. I think these were the first real RPG game I've ever played. I'm pretty sure. Which is kind of sad because this game came out in 2007. I believe it was the first one. I could be wrong on that. Wait one second, let me look it up. 2003. It came out in 2003, and the second one came out in 2006. Sorry, December 6th, 2004. So these came out within a year of each other. Holy crap. It ended up being like a year and a half. Just how the months worked out. But that's actually quite impressive that they got out that quick. But yeah, I love these games so much, and they're just a staple for me in my childhood and in my video game history. So it'd be pretty sick to play that on the channel, especially since I haven't really played it since, well, I was little. I might have been, I know I replayed the games, but I think I was still like maybe middle school. So it's probably still at least 10 years ago. Maybe even more. I think about it. But yeah, so I really like the story, I think, of 1 the most, but the gameplay of 2 I think I liked better. Which is fine, because they improved on their gameplay and all that in the second one, so that's really good. Not that the story wasn't bad for the second, I still enjoyed it. I just think the first one was better. That's what it comes down to. Now, I am on the internet. Alright, so now we have more games that I played, but these ones are my favorites. So I have a lot of favorites, but on this list I'm listing 2. First being Tales of Arise. This game just came out actually at the end of last year, and I don't know what it was about it. I've never played a Tales of game in my life. For those of you familiar with the series, I've never played one in my life. This was the first one I touched. And it just looked really interesting to me. I think the concept of the story seemed interesting to me. I watched a trailer on this before I played it because with a game that you've never played before and you're buying new at full price, you kind of want to make sure it's something you'd be interested in. And so I actually even downloaded the demo. And something about the combat in this game was so fun to me. And at the time, which, I don't know, what was that? I think it came out in like September of last year. It had been a while since I had a game that I was playing that I really loved the actual gameplay of. There were games that I liked the story of, or I liked the characters, but to really love the gameplay, I hadn't had in a while. And so it was really refreshing to have that. And I didn't even finish the demo. I'm like, nope, I'm going to stop here. I want the game to be a surprise for me. So then I waited for the game to come out, because I bought it immediately after I found that out. I'm like, this is fun, and these characters are cool. And they had like cool character interaction between them, which was really cool, because they did a lot of it too, because they have like these, I'm going to call them almost comics style scenes with these characters. It was so cool. And oh my god, character interaction 10 out of 10. Story was 10 out of 10. It was great. You think the story's done and you think you know the goal, and then they just twist it. It's so cool. 10 out of 10 game. I would love to play it again. I wish there was DLC, but apparently there's not. And then the other one on this list shouldn't be a surprise, because I've definitely brought it up in my Elden Ring episodes. Bloodborne. I think this is my favorite game. I think it is. There's just no game that's quite like this. However, I I'm hesitant to even to say favorite games though, just because, for example, Tales of Arise, I love the characters and I love the story so much in that. Bloodborne, you don't really have character interaction like that. So it's like, the reasons that I love Tales of Arise are different than the reasons I love Bloodborne. So that's why it's kind of hard to pick a favorite game, at least in my opinion, is because of that. However, Bloodborne is just a state. I've been around Bloodborne way longer, and I played it more than I played Tales of Arise. So it has even a bit more nostalgia, I guess, for me too. But I love the gameplay of Bloodborne so much. And the art style, and the look of the world, and everything. I mean, Yharnam, it's freaking gorgeous. I think I said this in Final Fantasy, actually, but it's like some Victorian architecture, and I think that is sick. And it's not because I'm in architecture. I love... I think historical buildings and styles, and especially extravagant stuff, looks amazing. But anyways, so yeah, that's like my favorite game, especially since it rewards an aggressive playstyle, which is what I have, which is probably why Elden Ring can be a little more difficult for me sometimes, because shields are a thing. I like Bloodborne because shields aren't a thing. I love rolling. An equipment load zone exists in that game. Anyways, now we're moving on to the future. So these are games that technically I can't play now. Nobody can play now. But will be coming out in the future that maybe I can hype you guys up for. You can let me know if you guys are hyped for it. So I suppose when it comes to next game to play, this isn't quite relevant, but I would still be interested to see if you guys are interested in this stuff, I guess, in the future. So first off, we have The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2. Everybody, their dog, their mother's cousin, and then their pet frog are going to be playing this game. So I don't know if this is something that you guys would be interested in watching me play versus John Diego 392 over on Twitch or whatever who's streaming it. I don't know. A game like this is so vast though. I would be more interested in streaming it, I think. But maybe a series would be good too. I don't know. You guys can let me know if you guys are interested in that. Then we have Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet. So a game that I had contemplated playing on the channel is Pokemon Legends Arceus, which I obviously didn't end up playing. I've been playing in my free time. I still haven't finished it, but I've enjoyed it a lot so far. And this game, I'm assuming is less open worldy like Arceus is, and a little bit more direct. So I think it would be a little bit better for a YouTube series versus Arceus. So it could be interesting. I'm trying to go in dark and not know any of the Pokemon. I did, in the recent trailer, they showed the starters, and I contemplated keeping myself blind to that. But, well, first off, it's going to be so hard to keep myself blind to the starters, with internet being the internet. And second off, I want to know what Pokemon I want to grab before I get into and start the game. So I'm not like sitting there when I start the game looking at which one I want. And I'm still not completely sure which one I want, even though I did look at them. But I am between two. And in the event I play that series, I will not spoil what I'm thinking right now. So, I don't know. You guys can let me know if you're interested in that. I love Pokemon, by the way, just to give the background on Pokemon. I have played a lot of them. Once again, it sucks because my childhood wasn't started with video games. In fact, I wasn't able to play video games at all during the week and could only play on weekends and on Sundays after my homework was done. So, video games was not a staple in my life when I was little, despite the fact that I freaking love video games now. And it's one of the things that I wish was part of my life more, because a lot of my friends, who aren't even my friends anymore, were all playing video games. And I think a big reason that I wasn't friends with them anymore is because they were always talking about video games, and I thought it was so cool, but I also could never relate to them, and they would all end up playing games together over the weekend, and and whatnot, but I could never join them because I didn't have the consoles or anything like that to play. And then now here I am, and I don't know what I would do without video games. I love them so much. Anyways, some weird backstory on me there. If you guys like that, subscribe for more. It's the first time I've ever plugged subscription. Next game is Xenoblade Chronicles 3. So I love the first two. I know that a lot of people don't always like the voice acting in at least the first two. There were some spotty moments. But I actually, you know, I liked it. I know that the voice acting could be a little better in areas, but in my opinion, 2 was better than 1, which might be a hot take, so I apologize. It doesn't mean I thought either were bad. I just think 2 was slightly better than 1, but maybe that's just me. But I definitely like the story of the games a lot, and another hot take potentially, I think I like the story of 1 a little bit better than 2. I don't know. The turns in it were pretty cool. And then 3 is apparently the baby. And what I mean by that is when Xenoblade 1 and Xenoblade 2 love each other very much. 3, you know? That's what happens. And so I think I didn't even, so I saw the trailer, but I didn't see the trailer. I like quickly saw the trailer. I couldn't really hear the trailer. The audio was kind of being blocked for me, kind of intentionally, and I saw glimpses of it, but I'm trying to keep myself unknowing, because that's how I like to experience new video games. I like to be pretty blind when going into them. And then we have the Lord of the Rings Golem. So I looked at some game clips, I guess, game screenshots, and to be honest, at least from what I saw, I wasn't completely impressed with the graphics and all that of it, but I just think it would be an absolute crime for me to not play the Lord of the Rings Golem. And I think this game could be ass, like absolutely ass, and I would love that game because of the fact that Gollum's in it. And the only reason I love Gollum so much, well, he's actually really funny, in my opinion. He has a lot of funny moments in the movies, both The Hobbit and the original trilogy. I think he's just an iconic character, but the fact that I can do his voice, I think would make that series incredible. I think it could be a really shining moment. For anybody who hasn't seen the Final Fantasy episodes or the moments in there where or even Elden Ring, where I did the Gollum voice, here's a little snippet for you. Yes, my precious. Yes, we needs it, my precious. Yeah, there's a little bit. I didn't even warm up for that. Next, we have Final Fantasy 16. And something that I want to note about all these games on this list, I am hesitant to do these games new because of the fact that Elden Ring hasn't seemed to do as well on the channel. And it might just be that the people who are initially on my channel are here for Final Fantasy 7 and they're not interested in a game like Elden Ring. But also the reach of that game to try to getting people who would be interested in that game, who aren't you guys, who are watching my videos, seems to not work or something. Maybe it's my titles or my thumbnails or whatever too. I don't know, but it doesn't seem to be reaching out to as many people. And that might be because the fact that, just like what's going to happen with Breath of the Wild 2 when that comes out, everybody, their dog and their mother are playing it. So they're probably all flocking to other channels first, which is fine. There's a lot of cool channels out there. So I'm hesitant to do Final Fantasy 16 for that exact reason, and any of these games on this list. I think the Lord of the Rings Golem is kind of my best shot because I have something else going for me that's creative on that. But yeah, there's that. I'd love to play this game though. And if you guys are interested in it, I might have a leg up because you guys actually love Final Fantasy games here. So you guys might be interested in me playing that one. Just like some of the others on this list. I don't know. Could be pretty cool. Oh my god. How did I not put that on the list? Final Fantasy 15. For you guys who still are here, I would love to play that game. I'm actually really excited to play Final Fantasy 15. But let's throw that on the list too. It's not in this little display thing that I have. But I can't believe I didn't put that on here. Final Fantasy 15. Bwop. We're gonna put that on the list. I'd love to play that. I think that one has, from what I've seen, great character interaction, and I think it would be a really good follow-up to Final Fantasy 7 and the characters in there. I think it's a little bit different relationships. It seems more like it's very like, yo bro based, you know? Because a lot of the group there seem to be dudes. And from what I saw, they have a very, kind of like a dude posse, I don't know, what's the word for that? They're very, I don't know, they're just very bro, you know? I don't know. You know what I mean, if you know what I mean. But yeah, 16, I don't even know. I saw an early trailer, I think, partly, but at that point I hadn't really touched a Final Fantasy game other than 12, and that had been a while ago, so I don't know that it really resonated with me, or I really remember a lot, but it looks really cool, especially by that cover. So I'd be cool playing it. And then we have Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. So if some of you guys saw that my nostalgic game was that, and that was like my first game, you can imagine the excitement I have about this game, it being remade. It's a remake, not a remaster, so I don't even know what's going to be different about it, or what have you. But you can rest assured that this game is going to be super exciting for me, and I'm going to love it so much. It'll be a different take than some of the, and maybe you guys would be into that, because so far on this channel I've only played new games to me that are games that I have, well, I guess Elden Ring I haven't been, like, as you might say, a virgin to, because I played Bloodborne and Demon Souls, so that one I had played, I had background experience, but I mean, for the most part, Elden Ring is separate from those, so it's still different. And even Final Fantasy 7 compared to 12, it's still its own thing, and heck, the gameplay and everything was different to me too. Knights of the Old Republic, I played the original, so it'd be like if I played Final Fantasy 7 and I played the original and then was playing the remake. It'd be like that kind of experience, except with Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. It could be cool. I don't know. I think it's one that I definitely want to play. Now, of these games that I would like to play at some point, the only one that has a release date right now is Final Fantasy 16. Xenoblade, I believe they said is releasing in September. Pokemon normally releases in like November, so it'd probably be somewhere around there. And the other ones I don't know, but supposedly this year. I think Knights of the Republic is next year, but I think the other two are supposed to be this year, so we'll see on that. And yeah, so then I just have this screen where it's just like comment down below what you guys want to see. I'm gonna say, and I think I said this at the beginning of the episode, video, whatever you want to call this, which has actually gone on for a long time, so I'm sorry about that, guys. But comment down below, I'm gonna say 3 games at least that you guys would be interested in. I'm not gonna put a max, just because my community isn't very big, and I'm not sure of you people out there which ones of you guys are gonna be interested in giving your 2 cents on what game I play next. But like I said, I'm gonna say pick 3 with a maximum of nothing, of I guess all of them, I suppose. I just want to know what you guys are interested in, because as long as you guys are interested in it, it'd be something that I'll play. So if you guys are interested in, I want to play it. And then also, if you guys have any games that you don't see on this list that you're like, hey, that'd be really cool if you played, I know there's a possibility that I technically played it before, or I suppose there's a possibility that I wouldn't be interested in it, but I think the second of the two is less likely. Just let me know, and it doesn't hurt to see if I would be able or haven't played a game that you really like, or maybe if I have played it, you'd still want me to play it, and that's cool. Like Bloodborne or Tales of Arise or Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts, I think, would be a really cool thing, especially if I can get someone else to join me on that, who is I used the term just a second ago, so I'm gonna use it again. A Kingdom Hearts virgin. So, I don't know why, but talking about that in terms of a video game is really funny to me. Maybe you guys think so too. That'd be cool if you did, so I wasn't the only one laughing. But yeah, so that's really the gist of my video here, and I guess I kind of gave some talk about me as well in this video, and my history of both video games, and even a little bit dabbling into myself there. So maybe that's interesting to you guys too. And maybe, you know, it'd be a cool thing as well to comment on this video if you guys want to. I don't know. If you guys want to interact, I'd love to hear kind of your video game experiences, and you know, you saw some of the ones that were nostalgic for me. What are some that are nostalgic for you, or the first game you really played that was an RPG, or maybe the first game you ever played just in general? It'd be pretty cool. But yeah, I actually just thinking about that too. I guess I'll start off the comments, if you will. It's not games that I played, which is why I didn't list them as like my first games, quote unquote. King's Quest, Mask of Eternity, and some of the very early Tomb Raider games, maybe even the first one, were actually the first games that I really experienced. And Myst, if you guys are familiar with Myst, which is like a puzzle game, which would be an interesting. I have that game as well. If you guys would be interested in me playing a game like that too, so add that to the list too, I guess. Those were the first games that I experienced. I would sit on my dad's lap while he played that game, and my brother and sister would sit on a chair next to the computer, and we'd all watch my dad play those games. So that was kind of a cherished memory, and something that's really stuck with me, and it was super cool, and I loved it so much. It really meant a lot to me. So if you guys have experiences like that too, I'd love to hear them, so let me know. But anyways, guys, I think I've rambled on long enough in this video. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. This is a little bit of a different one, and maybe in the future I can kind of do more videos like this. Well, one, to see what game you guys want me to play next, but also just to kind of talk about some of my favorite games, or maybe just games in general. I don't know. Maybe we do like some kind of talky stuff if you guys are into that once in a while. Wouldn't be all the time, but now and again. Could be cool. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed, and I am excited to hear what you guys have to say in the comments. I hope you guys all have a lovely day, whatever time of day it is, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, everybody.